The best breeder box to use for a pregnant guppy is a net breeder, and I'm going to tell you why. When a guppy is about to give birth, she will release all kinds of hormones that are going to help her in the birthing process. Unfortunately for her, those hormones are going to drive those male guppies crazy. Because of those hormones that the female guppy is giving off when she's preparing to give birth, it's going to cause those male guppies in the tank to start going nuts, and they're going to start bothering that female guppy constantly. Unfortunately, because she's already stressed out because of having to give birth, and then you add on top of that, all these male guppies start chasing around the female guppy, it can cause her so much stress that she may either abort the birth or she could actually even die from the stress. The time to use a breeder box with a pregnant guppy is when she's getting really close to giving birth and you see those male guppies harassing the female all over the tank. Unfortunately, it's also really stressful to the female guppy to remove her from the water. Really, for any fish, anytime you remove a fish from water, it's going to stress them out. And so when you remove a female guppy from the water and she's pregnant and about to give birth, that can increase her stress. And that could cause her to have a miscarriage or cause so much stress that she dies. Now, a breeding box is not always necessary when breeding guppies. But when that stress level is high and it is necessary to keep them healthy and keep them safe, you want to use it in a safe way. And that's the first reason I'm suggesting using a net breeder box as your breeder box for your guppies. Now, it doesn't need to be this breeder box in particular, but it does need to be a net breeder box. And I'm going to leave some links in the description below of some recommended breeder boxes that I would use. Now, I do recommend you get the biggest breeder box you can that will fit inside of your fish tank. With my method, you're going to take your net breeder box and use it as a net to catch your female guppy. Make sure not to chase her around the tank as this can stress her out, so go slow. You can use a second net if you need to encourage her into the box. It's okay if you catch some other fish as well at this point because we just need to make sure she is in the breeder box without stressing her out too much. Now that she is in the breeder box, we need to remove the other guppies so that she can be left alone during the birthing process. We're going to take a small net. I'll leave the link in the description below for this net, as this is one of my favorite nets for small fish and fry. And we're going to catch out all the fish that we don't want in the breeder box. Now that we have the female in the breeder box alone, we can add a bunch of plants to help her feel like she has some cover to hide and safely birth her fry. The second reason to use a net breeder box is that it allows the guppy to remain in the same water. You don't have to worry about any changes in temperature or water parameters, and she's going to be used to the flow that's already in your tank. And that is definitely the second advantage and the second reason that I use a net breeder box. Before we get to the third reason why the net breeder box is the best option for guppies, if you're getting some value out of this video or you're enjoying it, go ahead and hit that like button. The third reason I really like a net breeder is that not only does it allow the female guppy to avoid those male guppies, to avoid some of that harassment from them, but it also allows her to still maintain contact with those other guppies. And she's used to being around lots of other fish. She's used to lots of contact with lots of other fish. And so what it does, it allows her to still have that contact with them. You know, she can rub up against that net breeder. Other fish will be coming over and looking at that net breeder and she can interact with them. But she doesn't have to deal with the constant harassment of those male guppies. And so I think that's another reason that the net breeder really helps to reduce the stress that the female guppy is experiencing during the birthing process. Once your female guppy has had all of her fry, you can go ahead and remove her and you can leave those fry right in there with those plants and allow them to grow up for, 2 or 3 weeks until they get big enough that they can start swimming throughout the tank and not have to worry about being eaten by the other guppies in the tank. If you guys enjoyed this video, then you'll really probably enjoy this video right here. So go ahead, click it and enjoy. Thanks for watching.